I'm laughing because Alex is making fun of me. Hey, mom. Hey, sister. Um, so I did want to talk about financial literacy, but today I just want to talk about Kyle Cease, the life coach. He says that when you make a change, you can only measure what you're going to lose, and you can't measure what you're going to gain because you can't predict the future, right? When I moved into my apartment here, which is not in a very safe place, I mean, there's things that I gained, which I had already had before my independence again. That was not necessarily new, it was just nice to have again. But living in this neighborhood, that's not the best neighborhood. I don't want to say that it's poverty stricken, but it's not the safest neighborhood. It's not the cleanest or most beautiful or attractive neighborhood. And by letting go of that, because I can't afford it at this precise moment, although I will be very shortly. I took the apartment and just said, well, this is what I can afford right now until I can get myself out of this mess. Today my car broke down. And I didn't feel scared like I did when I lived in a good neighborhood or when I have lived in good neighborhoods. I didn't feel scared because I live in neighborhoods where people help each other out because they don't have money to pay for AAA. They are all mechanics at some level, and they have to depend on each other, right? And I knew that. When my car immediately didn't work, I was not scared like I have been when I lived in North Hollywood, like I was when my car broke down in Alhambra or Pasadena or Burbank. I was scared because no one was going to help me, and I knew that. And that's why I've always carried AAA. And I don't have a lot of friends, so that doesn't help. And the friends that I have had, they're not the kind of people that, they were dancers. They were going to come to my rescue. So today when my car broke down, I went to Rico, who owns Rico's Imports. And he and my nephew helped start my car. And then we had to walk home. It wasn't bad, it was 2 miles. But then we didn't want to go back to pick up my car. And I knew that I could go to my apartment manager in this neighborhood and ask him to give me a ride. And he's like, yeah, girl. He was happy to give me a ride. When I tried to pay Rico some money for helping for inconveniencing him, he wouldn't even have it. See, this is what I miss. Okay, the thing is that for every advancement, there's also something that you lose. For example, when women became free, they got the right to vote and they started working more. That's great for the women, right? But then we had latchkey kids and kids that stayed home all day by themselves, and that's what we lost. So for the advancement of the women, our children have had to live without moms or dads at home and have had to raise themselves. So for me, when I was making good money and when I was living, like, for example, in Vista, California, in a really nice apartment, there was no way I would have been able to ask for help other than my husband. He wasn't even that great. So today, it reminded me of what it was like when we were younger and we first came to the United States. We had to help each other. There was no one else going to help us. But the more money you make, the more that people at that spectrum, the higher spectrum, the affluent, if you will, spectrum, they expect you not to expect from them. If you call them, they're going to say, well, why don't you call AAA? Or, okay, hope you get that fixed. Call me when it does so we can go back out or we can eat dinner. There's no mention of, I'm sorry to hear that. Is there something I can do to help you? And even if there is, they don't really mean it. So today I was reminded of what it was like when I first came to this country. that I am at some level sheltered by these two men that helped me, and that I knew that instinctively when my car broke down. And it felt good. I guess I'm a little bit sadder at that moment. Sorry, I was experiencing a little bit of sadness. It almost makes me feel like that when I go to live in Dallas, when we go to live in Dallas, that maybe it's okay not to live in the best neighborhood and live in a Latino neighborhood, because my dollars will go farther and I will have that sense of community, and I can use the money that I would have paid to live in a affluent neighborhood, a very nice neighborhood with everything that I want, very beautiful, but I can't retire because I'm using all my money to maintain the aesthetics that I want. Had I started younger, I could have afforded the aesthetics, but I still, even then, would have been missing the community that I have in the Latino community that I live in now. So this video is about two things. It's about what Kyle C says, that we fear change. We always fear change because we want to hold on to what we know, because it's what we know. We may not like what's going on, but we know, and we know what to expect. So it's the fear of the unknown, right? We don't know what we're going to gain. See, most of the time, the wording has always been you're fearful of the unknown. And Kyle C took it and says, well, but you don't know what you're going to gain either. So the fear of the unknown is fine, but you might gain something and you don't know what it is. In my case, I regained the safetiness of living in a neighborhood where people help each other. I have not had that. And God, since I joined the military in California. When I lived on campus, I forget what it's called. When you're in the military and you live on the base, you have that because everybody's struggling. They're new. We're all kids getting our cars, and so we help each other up. But once you get out and you live out in civilian housing, I lost it, and it's been lost until these last 6 months where I live in a not so good neighborhood. So it's nostalgic. It's a visit down memory lane, and it's eye-opening too. And it's guiding me to make a choice, a possible choice of living in not the best neighborhood, but a neighborhood where I'm going to have community. Where I can have chickens and a goat and no one's going to tell on me. The police don't give you a ticket for every goddamn thing like they do in Santa Monica. And it's letting me know that maybe I can make this choice of not living in such a great neighborhood and using the extra income that I would have used to live in a better neighborhood for my retirement. So it's that I did not know that I was going to gain that type of insight by living in this neighborhood that I live in today. And I think that, so I didn't know that I was going to gain insight. And I didn't know that by living here, I was going to reconnect to my past and use that past, my knowledge now, in my whole life to apply it to how I'm going to retire. And so my goal with this video is to say, if you need a change, even if you're not 100% sure, but you just know that wherever you're at, you can no longer stay, just jump. Just do it. Because the move here with Alex has been one of the best decisions I've made in my life. And I'm not even just talking about today, just Alex can go to school back and forth all day. I don't have to worry about taking him and picking him up. Even when he got sick the other day, he just came home because it's 2 blocks away. Again, I don't live in the best neighborhood, but all that money I would have, by living in a better neighborhood, I would have had to spend by taking him, using my time, my gas to take him, the worry, so the cost emotionally, there's a financial and emotional burden that I would have had to incur to live in a better neighborhood. So again, you don't always know what you're going to gain when you lose something. But if you know that where you're at, you're not comfortable, you got to get the fuck out. And I'm over 10 minutes. I got to go. Bye, Mom. Bye, sister.